What is going on, everybody? We're just going to sit around for a second or two, see if we get a couple people in here for the live stream. I got a Mike S coming in here. I see device not connected. I don't know where that's from. All right, so today I went to a meeting for the Chesapeake Bay, and I did a quick little video before I left, and I made a quick little mistake saying that it had to do with recreational guys too, as much as commercial guys, but I was wrong. It has everything to do with the commercial guys, the charter guys, and there was a lot of numbers there. And being there, I had Ken Jeffries was on the panel, and I asked him if he would come on with me tonight. That way I didn't screw up anything or miss anything out. He has to deal with the Charters Association. I'll let him describe who he is shortly, but you know what I always say, let's rock and roll, right? Wrong one. All right. We won't do that one. We screw that timing all up, but we'll do it anyway. All right. What's up, everybody? Today I went, since I called this podcast here, All Things Chesapeake, that I kind of changed it up from the Tackle Shop podcast. So I figured that if I figured that if I'm really going to call this podcast that, I really need to learn and really get into some other stuff. I don't want to make this too political, but the Chesapeake Bay, it's a really big deal for me because I like doing all my blue crabbing. I love doing all my fishing and all its tributaries, and it's important when our state fish, you know, it's just been a big deal. It's just really kind of been, it's really just a mess. It's a mess. I listen about the oysters. It's a shit show. And when you get politics into our Chesapeake Bay, it really just kind of stinks. To me, I think one of the big issues in our bay, period, is the Conowingo Dam, backriver, the pollution in the bay. I think that should be a big thing. But the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, they're pretty much, they're not going to fix it. If they would fix it, then we wouldn't need them, right? So the big issue here was for the charter guys, and the way I took it, one of the big things that came for me in this meeting is that these guys really got slapped in the face and really got broadsided because I guess they were supposed to have the 2 fish limit for this year, and it went down to 1 fish. Now you got to think about it. A lot of people's already booked trips for this season. You know, now a lot of these guys might back out because, I mean, who wants to pay all that money if you're going to pay $400, $500, $600 to go out and get, you know, you're going to rent a charter boat. I mean, the one guys were talking that the Amish would actually rent a bunch of charter boats for when their time off. And I think they were talking they might not even come because who wants to come all the way down here for the 1 fish? And they were told that it wasn't going to be like that, but they got slapped in the face. I don't know if Governor Moore, I'll talk with Ken, he's coming up. And I got a Mike S on here. I'm going to try to bring him up too. I don't know who that is, but we're going to find out. It's saying his device is not connected. So he might have to connect it. But I'm going to bring Ken up and let him explain exactly who he is. Just let me do a couple little switches here. All right. He's up. Can you hear me, Ken? Can I hear you?
I can hear you.
All right. That's cool. All right. Ken, I appreciate you coming on. I know it's kind of last minute. I know you were talking to a bunch of people, but you took the time for a couple seconds to, you know who a Mike S is?
It could be the president of the Update Charter Boat Association, I would guess.
All right. Let me see. This needs to be, this will need to connect their mic before you can be, so he don't have a microphone. So Mike, if you can hear me, you don't have a microphone. So we'll start with Ken. I'll have to change. I might have to try this. I don't know if I got this set up to bring a third person up, but we're going to have to, let me try and bring him up to see if it won't let me bring him up because, he's not connected. He don't have a mic or anything. All right, so we'll go with him. If he can fix that, just come on back up, and then I'll bring you up, Mike. All right, so this is Ken Jeffries, and just explain to everybody, what you do and who you are and all that stuff.
Well, for the last 30 years, I've run the boat. I've been either the president, vice president, or something in one of the charter boat associations. The main reason I came on was because there's a lot of misrepresentation of what the actual facts in Maryland are. And a lot of it to the recreational fishery. About 8 years ago, Atlantic Marine Fisheries have determined that the fish stock is in trouble for striped bass. And the reason they can manage the fishery properly in Maryland was because they had no tap. So what we did as an association said, instead of you not having data, we would go into this online reporting system, which every day we to the boat, we how many people on the boat, where we're fishing, how many fish we got,
Hey, Ken,
how many released.
Hey, Ken, hold on for 1 second. They're saying there's a bad echo. I can get a, what's that?
I was coming over to tell you.
Can you hear an echo, a real bad echo?
I'm not hearing anything. I'm just listening to you there.
So it says too much echo in the microphone. Is it my microphone? Let me know. Is it my microphone, or is it Ken's? We're letting the people let me know whose microphone is echoing. Let me check something out real quick. It's in Ken's. It's in Ken's. It's in Ken's. No, it's in Ken's. Okay, so it's in your mic. I'm having a little trouble hearing you too. It's like you're going in and out. Maybe you just.
Is that better?
Is that better? I just changed. Let me change some setting back here just for echo things real quick. All right, I canceled the echoing out. See if that works. Feedback. All right,
is that any better?
That's better. All right, go ahead, man. I think you're good. Go ahead and start over because I think I was losing you too.
Anyhow, I've been in the industry for 30 years, and I'm one of the lobbyists for Maryland. About 8 years ago, we started going through reductions for striped bass, which is the only fish on the East Coast that doesn't have some sort of consideration for the area you fish in. It's called conservation equivalency. Every other fish in the bay has it. Every other fish in the Atlantic coast has it. So what we did is the state said, hey, we have no information on what charter boats catch and what recreational people catch. So we funded a program that would allow us for the last 5-6 years to report our catch, electronically as we pick up our customers, how many people are on the boat, how many fish we catch, how many we release. With that information, they could determine what we're catching, when we're catching, and where we're catching. The recreational fishery was given the same opportunity, and they declined it, which I understand. Education levels weren't. No one went out and said, hey, if you guys do this, we can get better data. Your fishery will be less impacted if you give us real live information. And I understand that there's a drop in education in that aspect to the recreational fishery. So in the last few years, in the last 5 years, the charter boat industry has caught less than 4% of the fish allowed to be caught in the Chesapeake Bay. And we report it daily. It's checked by the police on a daily basis, so they know the exact number we catch. With the recreational fishery, they can't tell how many people are fishing, how many people are catching, how many you're throwing back. So last year alone, the Maryland charter boats, the entire industry, caught 101,000 fish for the entire bay. That's a little less than 4% for the entire quota for the bay. So for these changes that come up, we thought that Well, why are you going to make all these changes if we're catching only 4%? If you cut us completely off, you're only saving 100,000 fish. So this year they cut us 50%. So you're saving 50,000 fish, and that's it. Other than that, all the changes that were made is saving nothing. And we're hearing stuff like we're against the recreational fishery. We're against catch and release. That's not the case. What has occurred is that the DNR has decided that catch and release is slightly an issue, and they're going to start judging how they determine who catches what and when they catch it by the juvenile index. It's called the JI. What juvenile index is any fish that wasn't born in the calendar year for this year, say any fish that was not born in 2023 and is not legal yet, that's what juvenile index is. Any fish that's illegal that's over a year old. The problem with that is you cannot raise that number if you don't shut down pregnant fish being caught, kept, killed, released, whatever happens to it. You can't never improve that number. So if you're not going to use our numbers as real data, then why are you reducing? The only industry that was reduced was ours. Commercial was reduced 7%. That is true. They caught under their quota last year. So is a reduction of 7% going to hurt them? It's going to hurt the guys that fish full time. But as most people know, most commercial guys aren't really commercial. There's some guy that's got another job that just holds a license. So the true fishermen are hurt, yes. But as an industry, are they hurt? No. On our side, it's directly effective to the guys that are fishing every day. And recreational's not really hurt other than they lose days. Us, we're losing days. We're losing total creel limit. And it's not based on science. And that's what we're trying to get out to everybody. We're not complaining about catch and release. We're not complaining about commercial. What we're saying is you have actual data that you asked us to accumulate over the last 8 years. And now that you've accumulated it, you're not basing the science on the data you've accumulated. And I'm in no hurry to leave, and I'll listen to the yes and no's and the positive and negatives and try and answer each one of them. But when it comes to the science part of it, I've been involved in it for 30 years, and I somewhat know exactly what's going on, and I just want to get rid of all the misconceptions that are out there on what's happening this year. I don't blame the recreational. I don't blame the commercial. I'm just saying now that you have actual data on what we're catching, every chartered boat in the bay, you put all the numbers together, it's less than 2% of the 2.2 million fish that are allowed to be caught in Maryland. And you're going to reduce them by 50% is all I'm saying. And I'll mute the camera and I'll mute the thing and wait for responses. If you want more stuff, I have no problem to elaborate on it.
So a lot of it was talking too about how Maryland's kind of been picked on, because what I forgot the name of the place, but they said all the way from Maine all the way down to Florida, and that a couple guys was in New Jersey and Maine that were complaining that they got one fish. Why are they down to one fish and you can keep two fish? And because they complained, that's why they cut you down to one fish. You can come back on.
Yes. Most states are only allowed one. New Jersey has a sticker where you can allow a second fish, and that is true. We are one of the only industries other than New Jersey it's allowed two. However, our catch limits are so low in our part of the industry that the numbers are actually being used against us to cover other shortages within the actual 2.2 million pounds. So that is correct. But the actual changes this year technically only affect our industry. It doesn't affect commercial, and it doesn't affect the recreational fishery.
It's just a charter.
Other than the fact that now the recreational fishery is going to be on a 19 to 23 inch or 24-inch slot.
Explain, because they were talking about how. See, I brought up the everybody talked about the slot limit, and I was talking to Robert a little while ago. He was saying that how it helped the redfish. The redfish down Louisiana stuff having the slot limits, and they were telling me that here it's for some reason it's different, that he don't think the slot limit's going to work. So you don't have to keep going in and out. You can stay up there. you can stay up there.
The slot.
Explain what you mean about the slot not really helping the rock. I guess we're just talking about rockfish.
The slot limit doesn't work really well in Maryland because most of the time when our season's active, the water temperature is between 80 and 90 degrees. So on a slot, any fish that's under or above the slot, the science says that 40%, if you release it or keep it, 4 out of every 10 fish you touch, keep it or throw it back, dies because of temperature, deep hooking, type of hook. You're being charged 40% mortality, where on the entire East Coast, the number they use is 9%. So when you start eliminating those summer months, you're being charged 31% more mortality, regardless of size, regardless of slot, regardless of month. You're being charged 31% mortality more than any other fishery on the entire East Coast. And that only happens in Maryland. And that's the problem. And commercials only getting charged less than 1% mortality through gillnet, through pound net, through any other hook and line fishery. They're being charged 1%. And as a recreational angler, which charter boats are, is being charged at a higher rate than everyone else.
And you guys being limited to one fish, now you got people probably canceling. I think the one gentleman, I think it was you, saying how in one marina you got like 4, 5 boats in there, and it's where a restaurant is. Now, if you're not getting the charters in there, now you're losing half the, maybe not going out as much. And then you got the restaurant, then you got the tackle shops. I mean, it's more than just you guys. It's actually a lot of people in the chain that's going to get hurt by this.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this 30 years. In the Magothy, we started out back when I started in 86, 87. We were at 33 boats. Now it's me and one other boat, and he's a part-time guy. So in the matter of 30 years, you went from 33 to 2. And in the last 8 years, since all these reductions started, that's where I'd say the big drop-off started. And it's not anything anybody's doing wrong. It's the management practices of our state. Again, being in Atlantic marine fisheries, every state on the East Coast is in it. The state managers for all the other states, and I'll make it simplistic, they're lions in the industry. They stand up for their fishery like a lion does. In our state, our fishery managers stand up for us like jellyfish. And not just for charter boats. I'm talking for recreational anglers too. You guys would have a better opportunity for fish and a bigger fish if they would require a reporting system. If they would require something other than a phone call at 11 o'clock at night, asking what you caught the day before. And it's to the point now that it's actually worse catch and keeping fish than it was during the moratorium in the 80s, because they're not using the science that they have to dispel the rumors of what people think. And that's where we're at this point.
Does anybody have any questions for Ken while he's here? I know Steven said he might be. I know he was very excited that they changed the name of the snakehead, the northern snakehead. He was very excited about that. Um, I know. So I have a question. I have a question that if this would help the charter guy, you as a charter captain. Now, well, one thing, the first thing I'm going to say is that I know that they said that Governor Moore has not, if you can just tell me if this is true or not, has not held up to him backing you guys like he said he was going to be. I know he said he was going to be, Captain Newberry said that this guy was going to be right on it with them. And I know he's doing photo ops with talking catfish and talking about crabs and stuff. I see a couple things with him doing that, but I don't see him really doing too much to really help you guys.
This governor so far has been the least helpful out of any. I've been on the board of every governor except for the current governor for the last 5 or 6, and he's probably done the least amount for a small business. And I'm not just talking charter boats, I'm talking in general. He says one thing, but the reality is it's the exact opposite. And all we want is parity. If you're going to require one group to do something, you got to require them all to do something. The misconception in our industry is that we are part of commercial. Our licensing fees are more expensive than commercial, but our catch limits are the same as commercial. The charter boat industry for the last 3 years has been on one fish, unless you were in the voluntary reporting system. There was 606 charter boats for the last 3 years that bought stickers as charter boats. However, only 380 some of them were in the online real-time reporting system. Only those 389 boats were allowed to fish. The other 240 some were not allowed to fish. They were only allowed one. So you had to volunteer for this program. And now that they got real numbers, real data, they've now backed out of their commitment to not only us, but the recreational fishery, saying, hey, if you guys give us real numbers, we're going to back you up and support what you're saying. No one can say there's not any less fish than there is in the bay 20 years ago. We're catching limits in the last 5 years quicker than we've ever caught them in my lifetime as a captain. I've been a captain over 30 years. So that's where we're at now. We're not only fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for commercial and recreational to make the state use the data that they have to be accurate. And they have it, and they're not.
So I have a question for you as a charter captain. One of the other big issues in our bay is the blue catfish. So I was wondering, do you think you guys would ever switch over to actually, maybe target blue catfish more often to maybe help with the I know a lot of people, you guys are going after rockfish, but there's such a sustainability and such a problem with the blue cats. And I know if you're on the Potomac and they got guides, or you're down in Mississippi with the guides down there, I'm sure they can make a good bit going out there looking for a 40-pound blue cat. Do you think that's even an option for you guys? I know you guys been, you can say what you want. I'm not a guy to be butthurt real easy. So, I mean, you can just say, no, we're not into that. And
you believe me, my feelings, I've been married 30 some years and my feelings don't get hurt. So, from the Bay Bridge north, we've been fishing for catfish for over 35 years and using it as a marketable, sustainable fishery. Now, all of a sudden, the guys that get their captain's license at a hotel room and are the big bad captains with their name on their chest says captain, now in the last 4 or 5 years, they're trying to move their fishery down to the Potomac where the blue cats are very prevalent, and now trying to promote it as a business. The guys from above the bay, from the Bay Bridge north, have been doing that for 30 some years. And it is a productive fishery, but the blue cat fishery is, I'm not going to say it's seasonal. It'll be monthly. Like you'll have them for May, and then they freaking disappear
Mhm.
for 3 months, and then they reappear. So yes, we do target them, and we're making more and more of an attempt to catch them as an industry. But again, you only have a small percentage of guys, and I would say that number's less than 50 active captains in the bay that actually make that into a fishery. So, yes, we are targeting more, but again, I don't think those numbers are expanding as much as those predatory fish are expanding, I guess is the best way to say it. And part of the juvenile index includes predation, which is snakeheads, blue cats, and all that type stuff.
The this guy here said gill nets kill more fish than hook and line. Nets even kill non-targeted fish. What do you say? That's one.
He is correct. Gill nets do kill more fish than what you would kill on your boat, my boat, in a given day. Um, the state is given a bycatch limit. Um, most of the guys that are in the commercial fishery, which I do partake in, um, they're very good at handling fish. Most of the gill netting does occur in the winter, which has a lesser mortality rate than in the summer. The summer doesn't have a big gill net season. Those numbers are true. The problem is the state has those numbers. They know what the numbers are, but to make things easier and in a political realm, they decide to um, go with the path of least resistance, I guess is the best thing you could say. The commercial fishery is held to a very high standard. And do I agree that you should be able to go to a pound net and just dip fish out of there and sell them to New York or Pennsylvania? I do not. That's me personally. Is it legal? Yes, it is.
That's like our oysters. Most of our oysters are shit. And I still don't understand the price of the freaking oysters. How can we sell a bushel of oysters for like $1 to Virginia or whoever, and then in order to get our shells back, we got to pay $8 to get them back, or you guys got to pay $8 to get them back? I don't get it. And I watched the meeting on the oysters, and let me tell you what, that was an absolute. I mean, I can talk about it real quick. The meeting that I watch, you sit down there and they're pretty much telling you there's plenty of shell, almost 250 million bushels of shell sitting above the Bay Bridge. That's just sitting there. Shell. We're not talking about oysters. We're talking about shell that we could use to put in our bay. They don't want to do that. We have these two guys in there. One that he wants to ship oysters from California. And what's that cost? The first guy talks about the cost, the cost, the cost, the cost. But then you got a guy who wants to ship oysters from the shell from California, which has to be, you got the labor, you got the gas because they want to truck them in. So then they got to be cleaned. They got to do everything because you want to bring anything in here that's invasive. And then the other Einstein, I'm sorry, I don't know the guy. That's maybe rude for me to say, but the other guy, he had the bright idea that maybe we should go to Vietnam and China and have China and them boat shells in and put them in our bay. It's like, I mean, that's why nothing gets done. That's why nothing gets done. It's crap. I'm sorry. I don't believe that.
The biggest shell reservoir in the Chesapeake that's up for dredging is in the Upper Bay. It's at Man o' War Shoal, which is between I guess Key Bridge and Rock Hall. If you drew a diagonal line from the Key Bridge to Rock Hall, it's right there in the middle, and it's fossil shell from millions of years ago. If there's been a permit in for 30 years to dredge that shell, as soon as they dredge that shell, they don't leave it in the Upper Bay. They take all that shell down to Lower Maryland, Virginia, and dump that shell there so they can lease out the bottom of the bay. Again, it's a program that the state has decided to make money off of take the shell that's open to the public in the upper bay, take it and move it to the lower bay where someone can lease the bottom from the state, pay the state money, and say that land is yours, and you can take all the oysters out of there, but no one else from the public can touch it. And that's been a program I'm not in favor of, but again, it's personal opinion. It's not science behind it. I just think when you take something from the public and give it and sell it to someone that can benefit privately from it, I think it's wrong. But again, that's personal opinion.
Well, that's what I think. Because I go with Captain Rachel all the time, commercial crab, and I video her when she commercial crabs. I went with her and Glenn Blau oystering this year, and I guess they're saying there's a lot of sanctuaries they won't open up. You know, we're talking about rotational harvest. You know, if you go in this area and you do your oystering, then you leave it alone for 2 or 3 years, and and the oysters that are there will do their do their thing. But I don't know. It's really just kind of a bunch of crap. I mean, it's all about money. It's all about money. You got Chris S here says are gill nets are gill netted blue cats return to the water? If so, they should make netted blue cats be processed into some food. The problem, see, that's another thing with the blue cats. The blue cats, the way David Confair had mentioned to me that they have to be regulated or they have to have an inspector on it where I think rockfish and perch doesn't. Um, perch doesn't and rockfish doesn't, but blue cats need to be inspected by the FDA and it costs more money. And then when you got to get an inspector, so if you're a guy and you know all the watermen, they're up before the crack of ass dawn, they're out there working their ass off, and they have to have an inspector there to be dropped off. And supposedly a lot of inspectors are not there. They only have one. It's like it's really kind of a mess with the inspection of it. But that's probably why a lot of the commercial guys won't do anything because not only does it cost a lot of money to do it, but it's just getting them processed. And are you going to get enough money per pound? You know, are they going to give you enough money per pound because it's going to go through a lot of processing to pay everybody, I guess.
Well,
Am I right?
the misconception on blue cats is there's not a market for it. There is a market for it. However, everybody that says we're going to eat a catfish, oh, it tastes terrible, it's this, it's that. The blue catfish is a phenomenal fish to eat. It's a phenomenal fish to catch. People confuse channel cats with blue cats. And if somehow every time you buy a license, a percentage of your license fees goes to marketing. The state of Maryland is supposed to give that money to marketing to market that fish. If you have an invasive species, the predatory fish, they're supposed to market that to be able to sell to other states. Blue cat and snakehead's a phenomenal eating fish, but it's not promoted in Maryland. You go to Louisiana, the number one fish on the plate is catfish. It's not that it tastes bad. That's what they promote. Maryland has done a terrible job, absolutely terrible job at promoting the predatory fish. And I don't think it's going to change. All they're doing is taking the money from every angler, recreational, commercial, charter, taking that money you're paying on every licensing fee and saying they're going to give it to marketing, and they don't. And that's one of the problems. Again, Maryland has done an absolutely horrible job at managing its fishery, and there's no other way to describe it. They're trying to create animosity between the user groups, and it shouldn't be that way. I mean, we should all work together to have a better fishery. We have one of the best fishery in the world, and they're doing everything. The state's doing everything to change, to create animosity where none of us can enjoy it.
I think the cleaning of the bay would be it's for me ever since I was a kid. All we've ever talked about is the kind of wing. You're drinking a beer. I saved that until after the podcast. What beer are you drinking?
If I could get real quick on the cleaning of the bay,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm from the Magothy River. There is a sewer pipe that's active on the Pedickery Point that we have complained to the CBF for probably 20 years that it's an active pipe. It's an overflow pipe. That pipe is active every day. Raw sewage pumping into the bay every day. The Pompeii oil plant up there in Baltimore by Boston Street. It's an active pipe, constantly pumping sewage overboard. No, nothing's ever done about it. I
I don't
generally
wait.
deal with the Upper Bay, so I'm more versed on that. There's places in Middle River where active sewer is going right overboard. Nothing is ever done about it. Yet, if you're on your 24-foot Parker and you dump a bucket of waste overboard, they want to give you a ticket. However, when an active pipe that's dumping 50, 60,000 gallons of raw sewage over a day, it's no big deal because it's overflow. That is a problem with the state that will not, and our state will not address the issue.
Well,
And again,
the chip plant where I grew up. I grew up 2 miles away from Back River.
how many days do you hear there's a pipe that's overflowing somewhere, yet they'll never do anything about it? They'll say, we'll address it later. We'll do this. We'll do that. And nothing's ever done. We don't want animosity with anybody. If anything, we're trying to work with all the user groups. And the only reason I'm here, and I'll take any question anybody's got the answer, we're trying to educate people on what the numbers are, what the science is, and what exactly this state is not doing for us. And it's gotten to the point now that our fishery as charter boats, we're in peril. We're probably, for most guys that haven't been in business for 20, 30 years, aren't going to survive. However, I have grandkids, I have kids. If they go out on their recreational boats, your fishery's been reduced so much because of mismanagement of this state that you're not going to be able to enjoy it at all. And it's very simple things that could be done that the state's not willing to do. I'm not a tree hugger by any means.
Me either.
However, there's very simple things. Who thinks it's acceptable to have raw sewage dropping in the bay every day and not being even checked? I mean, it's unbelievable some of the things that are going on that no one in the public knows about, and that's what we're trying to communicate here. And like I said, I'll answer any questions. I know I'll take some heat for it. I've taken heat for 20 years, but we're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to give up more stuff that makes more babies out of fish and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to give up things, but we shouldn't have to give up it if the state would help us in management, but they're not doing that. So
I got a great idea. I know to California and the Delta, they're trying to get rid of the rockfish. If we can just get a shitload of them and bring them down here, that would be awesome. I know but one of the biologists I had on, he's up in California, and they have a big issue because of the salmon run, I guess, or coming up, that the stripers are a big, no, they're invasive. So it's amazing how they don't want them there, but we're really trying to save them here. It's like, it's really weird. All different kind of fisheries.
I'll say one more thing and I'll yield to the public. But in the late 80s, when the moratorium was on, we opened up all these fish farms to raise striped bass to come up with an alternate way of making babies, let's say, an easy way to describe it. And we harvested all these yearlings and we put them back into the bay. All those fish farms have been converted over to fish farms that now produce fish they sell to the general public for consumption. None of them are striped bass. None of them. They say that there's no value in harvesting fish at an off-site location and putting them back into the environment. So they're regenerating yellow perch, tilapia, salmon. They're regenerating all these species within our own state, and none of them are striped bass. The last time I checked, I would believe that striped bass is a state fish.
Right.
When we were in peril in the 80s, all those fish ponds and um, facilities that were generating these or producing these fish, they were put them back into the environment. Now we're not doing that because they're saying, "Oh, the state's not making any money off of it, so we're not going to do it."
It's all about money. Just like I'm saying, it's all about money, and it's who's ever got the most money. So Ken's here. If you guys got any, I mean, he don't care what you got to say. If you have anything that you want to ask him, he'd be glad to answer any of your questions. I mean, I'm glad I appreciate you coming on. I talk to Robert every once in a while. He's trying to get a nice free ride on his charter boat. No, I'm just kidding. Um, the But he's very smart. I mean, I listen to him, and I mean, he's about frustrated. He looks like he might not be too far from retirement. He's so tired of talking and talking and talking and nobody listening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I see you guys every day. I mean, you've been doing it for how many years? How many times have you been asking for something, and it's most of the people sitting at a desk that probably never even picked up a fishing rod out there making our rules. You know what I mean?
Well, again, like I said, I will answer any questions, and I know I'm going to take some heat for some of it, but I don't mind taking the heat because most of the people that respond to something are, and I don't mean it in a mean way, they're not educated on exactly what's happening. And Maryland has, right now, they're in a how can we generate revenue mode. They're not in it to protect the species or to stand up and say, hey, we're for small business or we're for the recreational angler. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with revenue for them. And revenue doesn't always fix a problem. It never fixes the problem. You could throw money at a bad problem and it never be fixed.
Right.
You have to have science behind things. And over the last 8 years, the charter boat industry, we've taken a 5 to 10% cut for the last 8 years. Now, this year, they want us to take 65% on top of that. So if you add up all those numbers over the last 8 years, we've taken almost a 90% cut when it comes to striped bass. And they do it repeatedly because they have accurate data now that they've always asked for, and they have no data from the recreational industry. And that's why there's some conflict between recreational and commercial. The problem we have is we're stuck in the middle. We're paying we're paying commercial fees, but we're held to a recreational creel limit. And that's where we're stuck in the middle because the state won't step up and say, hey, there is a problem here. Let's see how we can fix it. They will never put people in the room who can come to a conscientious decision and say, hey, this is the best way to fix the problem. They will never do it. They have, and again, that's why I call them the jellyfish. Everyone else on the East Coast is a lion. The state of Maryland is a jellyfish.
Sometimes I enjoy the fishery so much. I mean, we can't wait for summertime to come because we eat a lot of crabs out of there. And my buddy goes, man, I would not be eating any crabs out of that bay or any fish out of that bay because of the pollution and stuff like that. But we're still living. Hold on. Here's somebody. See what he says here. Channel cats and blues are both good eating fish. I am from PA and been eating both for years. I see him drinking before he cut out the first time. I have no problem with it. I am doing the same. Yep. My wife is just giving me my Kona beer. I'm going to drink a beer tonight. Yeah. So if you have any questions, we got 20 people in here. If you got questions about rockfish, I think because, being a recreational guy and getting to hang out with, and with my buddy Rachel being a commercial, it's like last year with the crab population. Her bills are not or more or the same. They didn't change, but being crabbing, they stick you to limits. You can only have limits. So they're saying, well, hey, you still got to pay me the same, but you're only allowed to catch. I mean, it's it's amazing to me as a recreational guy. I don't want to be cut from not being able to crab because that is my wife's favorite thing to do in the summertime. That is our thing to do in the summertime. We do it a lot. And but if they would cut us off, which I don't understand why they wouldn't, why they got the day Wednesday that you can't crab. Why wouldn't they do it on a weekend, like a Saturday or a Sunday? Because I got to work every Saturday. I'm off on Wednesdays. That way I can crab on Wednesdays. Um, I don't know. It's just something we want to do. I just think the pollution is horrible in our bay. And hey, what's up, Justin? I think the pollution to me is one of the big things. I'm not really into the climate change thing or the sea rise stuff. And if it's sea rise, I don't know. I'm not really into all that. But um, these guys were talking. I mean, I guess it was really the a lot of the sticklers or one of the guys I was talking about when it comes to the slot limits is the slot limit stuff is that I thought it would work, but the way they were explaining to me that the slot limits really won't work. And if somebody's in here listening and thinks that it will work, ask a question about it because he'll definitely answer you. Me, I'm just a recreational dumb boy around here. You can come up, Ken.
Well, we've had slot limits 4 or 5 times over the last 10 or 15 years. And again, if you're not up to date on how they manage it, what happens is they'll manage a slot limit based on how many fish you throw back, not how many you keep. So if they're managing a slot limit on 40% mortality in July and August, that means every 10 fish you catch, if you keep them or not, they're going to charge you four of them are dead. So if they come up with a number that says you're only allowed to catch 100 fish, and in 5 days you catch that 100 fish, 40 of them they're going to say dead if you didn't keep them or not. So that's where slot limits become an issue because now they're basing things on science that they don't have, and that's where it becomes an issue. That's why recreational over the last I'll say 6 or 7 years in Maryland has gotten absolutely screwed. We agree. You guys have gotten screwed over, but you don't have any representation because of what MSSA did. If MSSA had actual data before they went out of business or, whatever happened financially with them, you would have the ability to say, hey, we're not killing the amount of fish you're killing. That's where the issue comes. They're charging you a certain amount of fish that you're not even taking back to the dock just because of when you caught them and where you caught them. And that's a major problem if you're a recreational fisherman.
Now, Damn River Boy's saying slot limits work. I know they said in Louisiana it worked with the puppy drum and the redfish down there. But the one gentleman was telling me, I know that Robert was telling me that you either had the small ones or you had the big ones, and within the slots. So how that works, I don't know. I thought the slot limits were always good, but in order to get your slot, if you go out there in mid-August, I mean, if you're in there in August and you're out there trying to catch your 19 to 21 inch or 24 inch, whatever it is, how many small ones do you catch and release when it's 80 degrees out and kill to get the ones for the slot? You know what I mean?
If you use Louisiana as an example, and I'll give you this, Louisiana and Alaska, the Gulf Coast of Florida, if you catch a fish, it's on your rod and reel, you're reeling it into the boat, you're not allowed to take that fish out of water. It's considered caught the second you take that fish out of water. Um, in Maryland, we don't have that rule. So you got 4 or 5 hillbillies on a boat. They catch 20 fish in a day. Each one of the hillbillies wants to take a picture of it, take it out of the water, drop it on the floor, give it to the next guy, get the picture. Next guy gets a picture. That's why Maryland's getting charged at 40% instead of the states that say, hey, if you take that fish out of the water, you're caught. That's considered a caught fish. You're getting a ticket. Maryland has decided not to enact any of those policies and then still charge you for if they had done that. And that's where the problem lies. And the problem lies in the recreational fishery because there's no reporting system. So when you start saying slot limits work, they do work. But that fish can't come out of the water. You can't say, hey, let my 5-year-old daughter hold it. Let my 8-year-old daughter hold it. Let my 40-year-old wife hold it. Let me drop it on the floor 4 times. That's when you get charged that 40%. And that's one issue. The big fish issue, if you're saying there's problems with small fish, when the season's closed and those fish are pregnant, if you're going to rate your whole season on the summer fishery, you cannot allow them female fish to even get touched. That's how the redfish rebounded in Florida. That's how the redfish rebounded in Louisiana. That's how the salmon rebounded in New York and Alaska. They're not allowing those fish to be touched while they're pregnant. However, in Maryland, they say, in this month, you can hold them, throw them on the floor, take a picture, throw them back. They're not going to lose any eggs. So that's our issue with the fishery the way it is now. So I do agree, slot limits work, but you have to have more than just a slot limit. You have to have a fish handling limit. You have to have some morality like you would have with cussing in church. I mean, there's got to be more to it than just, we only can keep this size fish.
You have here it says they claim the breeders are only big fish. I've seen 19 to 24 inch carrying eggs in the fall. If they are charging for 40% lower the size limit to 17 to 18 and 3 fishing, man, get your fish and get out. Get your fish and get out. The when the water temp is high, they need to stop recreational fishing for rockfish. You can see all that at the bottom of the screen, can't you? That white little.
I can see it.
Okay,
And
and
I wasn't going to bring this up, but that's 100% our argument in the commercial in the charter industry. We catch our fish and we leave. Where we might have a boat next to us that's whatever size it is, it'll catch its fish and keep catching. We'll go back in on our morning trip, pick up our afternoon trip, go back to the same spot, and that same boat's there with 2 guys on it, still catching and releasing. However, when we get onto a platform like this, they're going to say, well, it's the charter boat that took the 6 people out in the morning, caught their 12 fish, and then came back in the afternoon and caught their 12 fish, and they're the problem. However, that same little boat that sat there for those 12 hours might have caught 60 to 80 fish and are being charged 40% mortality. It's well beyond the amount of fish that we're catching. And again, I don't want to get it into an issue where we're starting to fight each other on it. I'm just saying you got to see the side that we're on right now, and it's eventually going to hurt all of us. And until someone stands up, again, this is the only state that will not stand up for their fishermen. The only state. And you can look at the minutes on Atlantic Marine Fisheries. Maryland has a bad reputation of going above and beyond of what is required of them. And when they do that, it takes away from the general public, which is your grandchildren, your children. No one, and that's where we're trying to educate people that We're not against this, that, the other. We're just saying make it fair, equitable, and educate the people on how to make the fishery better. That's all we're trying to do. That's why I said I'll take anything you guys have to say. And I'm not saying what I'm saying is going to be 100% correct, but you're going to at least get an honest opinion from someone that's in the fishery every day and has been to every meeting for the last 30 years that understands how our state is going against everything that we want. We want a cleaner bay. We want to be able to enjoy the fishery. We want fish to be there in the fishery, and we'll agree to pay for what we're catching. We just want them to manage the fishery according to what the environment is allowing us to catch.
I thought we would have got our second bushel back at a cost. I do understand slot limits, but do not understand how they come up with the moratorium rate of 4 fish.
I can tell you that it's based upon they rate it, and when I say they, I mean Atlantic Marine Fisheries says that 9% is the standard number of fish that are caught that are harvested. And I'm not saying harvested, I mean you take it back and cook it. I mean the number they're saying that die once you touch them. So if you catch 10 fish on your 20-foot Carolina skiff, they're saying 9% of the fish you catch that you take back or don't take back are dead. What they're saying now is if you catch that same 10 fish in May and June, it's 9%. When you catch that fish in July and August, they're saying 40% of those 10 fish die. And that it's what's the science behind that? How do you know that? That's why we get upset when you got one guy on a boat that's 4 family members are taking pictures of it, dropping it on the floor, taking a picture. That breeds credence to the argument that the state has, and it's a terrible argument. It makes no sense. There's no science behind it, and that's what we're trying to educate people on. That we're not against anything. We're just trying to educate people on exactly what the state is managing this fishery on.
More government control, yeah. Yeah, that's the last thing. That's the last thing that we need is more government control. I don't know. Just I don't. I'm almost. I don't even know what. I got so much in my mind. I want to ask. I know that in that inside there, it seemed like a lot of unity. Everybody raised their hand. Everybody seemed like we had a couple delegates in there. So we had some people from. Who was the one gentleman that left early? He was up. He was
He's
standing.
Johnny Munch. He's the state senator for Caroline County, Kent County, and if I'm not mistaken, Talbot County.
And he was in there. He's definitely said he's going to stand behind you. You got a new gentleman that is running for. What's he running for?
He's running for delegate of Talbot County.
The delegate. He's in here. He's trying to learn everything. He showed himself in there trying to learn everything about our fishery and everything. It's really mainly the guys in Annapolis that are not. I mean, the one guys the way I think Rachel N. Robert was saying that he's just basically trying to get rid of the commercial guys. He don't want no commercial guys. He just tired. He don't want the commercial guys, and he I don't think he even cares about the bay.
Commercial has what happens is we'll just make up a number. Maryland gets, let's say, 2 million fish. The way the law reads is that commercial gets 42.5%. Maryland gets 42.5. I mean, recreational gets 42.5%. And in recreational is charter boats. Charter boats are recreational. The difference in the quota the 42 and 42 and a half don't equal 100. The difference is the mortality. So the way it works now is when the commercial guys get their quota, they're on a reporting system that says, hey, you guys got 1 million pounds or 1 million fish you can catch. When they get to that number, the fishery's cut off. The way charter boats work is we report exactly what we catch. Recreational, there's no way to report that million fish or 1 million pounds, however you want to describe it. They don't have to do that. If they were required to do that, it would be impossible for the state to take something from you if you can prove what you've caught. Right now, they can't prove it, so we'll say they make up numbers. They make up whatever number they want for recreational, and that's in the system we're in now, and that's what we're trying to change. And again, you're going to have differences between recreational and commercial. No matter what you did, you're going to have differences in it. The problem we have now is all the other states see this conflict in our state, so they're benefiting on voting against us. Whatever fish they can take away from Maryland, they're getting it in other states. Trust me, they're getting it. So you can go through the Virginia Beach fishery where they were catching all them big fish and killing them. You can go to the New York fishery. You can go to the Jersey fishery. They all want the same thing, but they have an ability to manage their fishery because the state's willing to work with them. Maryland is a do-gooder state, and they're not managing anything on what the public wants. They're managing on something that they don't want a problem with, and they don't want to address it. They are cowards, is the best word I can describe them as. They're absolutely cowards, and you can pull up on your computer right now, and I'm not a computer guy. We've had different secretaries of the DNR 4 or 5 times in the last 6-7 years. How can you manage anything when you got a different boss every year? By the time the new boss gets adjusted, he's fired. By the time the next boss comes in, she's fired. Then they bring another guy in, they're fired. There's no continuity within the department to say, we got to work in this direction, we got to help this group out, that group out, and we got to make it equitable. There's no accountability right now within our department.
Right here it says, seems to me a lot of these issues with Rockfish started when all these guys started preseason catch and release trolling at 3 knots. Maryland and Virginia alike, boats catching and releasing big fish all of the March and December down south. The fish got slaughtered off Virginia Beach years ago. That's what, it's one of the comments in there.
It's true. I mean, if you want babies, I don't care if you're talking monkeys, humans, lizards, flies. If you want more babies, you got to protect the big fish. Right now, Maryland's got a program. And this is exact quote from the state of Maryland. We are going to protect all the big female fish in March, which there's only 20% of them in the bay, and 90% of them are post-spawn. We need to protect them. So why not protect 100% of them from December, January, February, and March, and make it non-targeting, if that's what you're going to base our season off of? And that's what we're arguing right now. If you're going to base our fishery, and I mean recreational and charter, off of baby fish, why not protect all the females? You protect every one of them. If not, when your wife gets pregnant, I'll drag her on my bumper at 10 knots down the bay for 10, 20 minutes and see how she does with your baby. That's what we're saying. If you're going to protect one of them, protect all of them.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
That's cool. We just got I don't know, we got a big jump. We just had about 70 people in here watching. That's pretty cool. I don't know what that was, but we got about 30 people in here now watching. If you got a question for Ken, this one here, Sportsman did with the 8 HIP program. Does the HIP program work? Doesn't matter what information we give the state, they'll make their own determination.
I could answer that if you want.
Yeah, that's you. That's all you. You're my guest, man. You're the one who knows, you know all the answers.
The HIP program is technically the MRIP program. What it is after you guys get off your boat in the evening and you get home at night and you eat dinner, and at 7, 8 o'clock at night, somebody calls you for a survey and says, how many fish did you catch today? And like I'm doing right now, you're drinking beer, you're with your wife. You didn't keep track of the exact number of fish you caught, how many people you had in your boat. What that is called the MRIP study. And the MRIP study is how they evaluate what recreational fishermen catch, because you don't have to report online. So what it does is you're getting information from a guy that fished yesterday, the day before, whatever, and he's going to say, if his wife's next to him, I caught 80 fish. I'm a big man now. If you're in your car by yourself and you're driving through the harbor tunnel, we didn't have a good day. We caught a half a fish. Right. You know, so the data is inaccurate. I'm not saying the guy's wrong. I'm saying the way you get the data is who's sitting next to you when someone's asking you the question. That's just a human being a human. And that's what the recreational data is based off of. It's based off of inaccurate data, and it's being held against you. And what we're saying is, let's make it accurate data. We volunteered for it. We asked the recreational fishery to volunteer for it. And the 3 or 4 people that are in charge of the recreational fishery said, we're not going to do it because we don't want our people subject to that. And that's where we're at now. The inaccurate data in the state of Maryland is at a point where if we don't fix it, you will have no fishery in a year or two. However, the amount of fish in the bay is astronomical. It's the best I've seen in 30 years. I mean, you can catch your limit now in the bay if you're in the right spot in 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if you have one person on the boat or 20, but it's not based on what you can catch. It's what they think you can catch. And there's the problem.
So what do we do to fix it? Who's the person that is Governor Moore? I know that you said, I think they said Hogan try to help, but that's what I mean. I'm just saying, did he try to help? You can
they all try to help. The problem lies, there's outlying organizations, and I'm not going to give them to you. If someone wants to contact me personally, I'll tell them. But there's an organization, one of their members is on the board of Atlantic Marine Fisheries, that is a conservationist, and he believes in only recreational fishery, and he believes in only catch and release. So if you're in the recreational fishery and you take a fish home to eat, you're wrong. You got issues. And
tree hugger,
small business, tourism bureau, just the right to life, to be able to take, if you have 3 kids, to be able to take 3 kids out fishing. Why can't each one of them kids take a fish home? That type deal. Why does it have to be what day of the month it is? What day of the week it is? I mean, you should be allowed a certain amount of fish, and when you catch that amount up, you're done.
Yeah. I mean,
it's simple math. I failed algebra. I failed calculus. I failed it in high school. I failed it in college. But if you tell me I'm allowed 500 fish in this amount of time, and when I get to 501, I got to throw it back, I understand. I can be the dumbest human being on the earth, but when I get that 501st fish, I understand I'm wrong. We're not at that point yet because all the outside organizations involved in that. And I'll tell you, the organization's initials are CCA.
I love it that they put concrete in. They put concrete in the bay. I love it. I don't know. When I hear that, I understand that it can work. I just think I think we could do. I just think we can do better than that. And if they can, if you put that money in towards the money they spend on that, and some of the money that is waste. I know the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, they're worth over $30 million, and it doesn't seem like they're gonna. They're not going to fix anything because if they fix it, then we don't need them, right?
Well, the secretary of the DNR now is a CBF. He came from there, so he's a biologist from there. So his opinions are going to be biased upon what they think. And believe me, in 2 years, he's going to be looking for a job because when this governor is there or not there, he's going to be looking for a job. So he can't go against them right now because it's his only means of employment when this is all over. And if you look at the secretaries of DNR in the past, that's what's happened. They go from getting a position there to either going to another state in the same position, or they go back to the same conservative views that they had before they got there. That's the way it works.
Well, like I said, we've been on here a little bit over an hour. So if anybody in here really has anything to ask Ken, hold up, there's Steve. Let's see what he's got to say. I don't think you have enough soldiers in the fight. Maryland watermen have been beaten down for so long. Yeah, but wait a minute. The watermen I keep hearing, they won't get together, especially the commercial watermen, like the crabbers and the oysters. If they would all get together, it seems like it's like pulling teeth to get them all together to stand up. And I keep hearing they won't. They won't do it. You know, you have, I think they said like the farmers, you get the farmers, they all kind of stand together. There's certain different um, commercial people that do that. But I heard that the commercial watermen, they just will not get together and really, if you need to take all the watermen and be sitting in Annapolis one day when you got, 400, 10,000, how many it is out there working. I mean, this is their living. And every time you turn around, you're getting a new regulation. Every time you're getting more money for this, more money of that. Why they keep taking away from you? I mean, this is your, this is your bread and butter. You decided to be a waterman to make a living on the water. If you're not going to stand up for it, then I mean, you probably should go. Walmart's paying $17 an hour.
The biggest problem watermen and charter boats have is if you have 100 watermen and you have 100 charter boat captains, probably only 15 of them are actually watermen and charter boat captains. Most of them are part-time guys that fish on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, crab Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday, and they don't believe in associations, which in the normal business practice is a union.
Right.
So to get them involved in anything, to go to a meeting, to get educated, it's difficult. And I mean, as we get older and older, and I'm 55, as I get older and older, you can't convince a 30-year-old to get involved in anything unless it involves him specifically.
Right.
The better good doesn't mean anything in today's society. And the same thing goes with recreational. As you age, and I mean the recreational fishery ages, you got to remember that people 20, 30 years younger than you only age in and educate themselves on what they hear.
Right.
And that's why I said, you guys can ask me any question in the world and I'll take the beating. Most people age and educate themselves by what some other person, true or not true, tells them. And it's not true. All this information is on any website that you go to DNR or Atlantic Marine Fisheries. It's all on there. You just got to be able to decipher through the bullshit and the
Right.
rhetoric that they tell you.
It's a lot of bullshit. I know that. I mean, some of the meetings. I mean, it wasn't too bad. The meeting wasn't too bad today. Everybody was straight to the point. You know, there was no. It seemed like everybody was on the same page in there, in the meeting, which was great. Um, I'll I'll be coming to more of these. You know, I got this. You know, I started this podcast, and I started it as all things. It was a tackle shop podcast, but there were so many named like that. So I wanted to do all things Chesapeake because I do all my fishing, crabbing on there, and so I think I need to um participate more in like your meetings and stuff like that. So that's why I came today. Captain Newberry's, you know, I got the invitation. So I sat up there, even though I'm kind of was just sitting back in a corner listening to everybody. You know, these are these guys' livelihoods, and they just keep taking away from them, man. They just keep taking away. And I know the recreational guys, I hear it all the time. They say it's the commercial guys ruining it, and then it's always back and forth. If man, we all can. I think even I talked to Cambo Trout. He was saying if you can get the fishery guys and the commercial guys and all these guys, if you can get everybody together, everything can kind of be worked out and work. Probably beneficial to us. You know what I mean? Because it just seems like every year they just keep taking more and more. I mean, I would used to be allowed 2 bushels of crabs on my recreational boat. Now, I'm down to just down to one. I was waiting for them to. What's funny is that when it comes to the crab season, every time they say the crab population is bad, I have an absolute great year. This year they said how many crabs are in the bay. Man, we struggled. I won't lie. It wasn't until the end of the year, but we struggled all year to catch crabs this year. We went. I mean, we went everywhere. We went to places we never even went before to catch crabs this year, and but it wasn't until the end of the year. But when we ended off. Tell them, honey, we ended the year, man, catching like some monster crabs. We caught a lot and big ones this year at the end. So do you do it? Do you so your chart? So when you take your charter out, is it just strictly rockfish, or do you do any other kind of chartering? Because I want you to
Um,
give your charter out. So if anybody wants to book you,
most of the guys from the Bay Bridge North, we're into fishing trips. So you're going to catch your striped bass, but we don't run you back in as soon as you catch them. We've been through this for, like I said, 40 years. So we'll fish catfish, we'll fish for your croakers, we'll fish for your perch. As you go farther down the bay, those guys are coming way up the bay to catch a few striped bass. So in a 6-hour trip, they don't, under time constraints, they don't have time to fish for other stuff, or they choose not to.
right?
But generally, if you'll fish with a guy above the Bay Bridge, you're going to have guys that are going to fish for several different species. That's why this is a big deal. But there's ways to, manipulate your business to where you can still be productive. But the fact is, if they continue down this road, they're going to actually drive not only business, but you're going to drive the interest of younger people away from the bay. And that's what we're trying to save. It's not for the guy that's 80 years old that we're trying to help out in this and educate. We're trying to educate the kid that's 9 years old to 20 years old that doesn't really realize that our state is actually trying to take an industry from you is I guess the best way. That's what my goal is.
Right.
I'm not going to say it's everybody's goal, but that's what my goal is.
Yeah, I mean that's if cleaner bay and I don't know when you mix politics and fun, politics really sucks. I mean,
You shouldn't be able to go to Pedickery Point, anchor your boat with your kids, and see live turds and tampons coming out of a pipe.
right.
We're in the 21st century. That shit should be, and I mean shit, it
Yeah.
should be taken care of by now. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have a rainstorm and have a news release the next day saying this county had 13 million gallons of raw sewage draining the bay. We should be beyond that. We got people on the moon. We got satellites being able to tell if you put a shed in your yard on Saturday. We have so much technology out there, and none of it's being used in a positive manner that we should be above that. We're better people than that at this point.
Right. Like I said, I grew up right down the street from the ship plant, right there on right at Back River, and I know that water there is I I when I was a kid, we used to go right there, right on East. It was Eastern Avenue right there. There's a little bridge. We used to fish right underneath the Back River Bridge. There was carp there, definitely catfish, a lot of eels. Um, but I tell you honest truth, I wouldn't want to it's hard for me every time I tell my wife we got to watch how many crabs we eat because of the pollution in the bay. I mean, they know what needs to be done. I mean, I was talking with Robert about the Conowinga Dam. I keep pressing on the Conowinga Dam because just the other day got a picture of the chocolate milk that came down from it again because all the rain we got. So they released all this rain and just half the bay was chocolate milk again. You know what I mean? It looked like crap because of all this crap coming from the other side of the Conowinga Dam. So, I mean, that killed the razor clam. You know, that one year, the razor clams, when we had it really bad that one year, the razor clams killed most of them. That's why the razor clams for bait for the crabbers are so expensive because of that year. All right. So if you guys got any more questions, please ask Ken. Ken, now what's it say? Does anybody know where they ended up dumping all that toxic waste? What it was supposed to come to the Back River treatment plant, but I think they fought that, and I think it didn't come from that train wreck crash. They were going to bring some of that toxic stuff down here. They didn't bring that down here, did they?
They did not.
Yeah, they didn't. I think it's what they said they were supposed to, and I think a lot of people were really up in arms. See, when everybody sticks together, the government actually will listen sometimes. When you got that many people saying something. All right, so if you guys got any questions for Ken, please say them now because if not, I'm going to let him go. We've had him on here for almost an hour and a half, and I
Well,
appreciate him coming on. He's had a lot of information. There's no way I would have been able to get that across on this live stream, even with the notes I took.
well, like I said, it's I can give my information out, and you can call me at any time. And it's at the point now we're in desperate mode now that if you don't do something now and you educate yourself, you'll be down to no fish or a very limited season where your kids won't even be enjoy the Chesapeake Bay, and it's not out of overfishing; it's out of mismanagement. This state is absolutely horrible at management. They're absolutely horrible at standing up for the science that they have now. And, whenever you guys are ready, I'll give you my information. You can call me at any time. You can call me a dick. But I will give you the absolute numbers and the science behind it. I've put the last 15 years of my life into this the science part of it. The first 15 years, I didn't care. I was young, stupid. I was making money, and I didn't care. The last 15 years, I have put every bit of effort into creating the numbers in science. And I will say it was directed directly at the charter boat industry, but I also know everything about the recreational industry. And I know a lot about the commercial industry. So I mean, I have no problem. Anytime you want to talk, call me. I'll definitely tell you. I mean, it's just at the point now. If we don't do something in the next few months, your ability to even take your kids out water skiing is going to be um, it's going to be affected by the decisions the department makes and the money you have to pay for something that you're not going to be able to get the benefit from. So anybody that wants my name, email, I have no problem giving it to you. You can have my business information.
Won't you right there, if you go to in that screen, you'll see on the side it'll say comments.
I see show you're in the show.
No, are you on? Can you see on the?
Oh yeah, I do see it.
Yeah, if you go click on that, you can actually put your information right there in the chat if you want.
Uh, I'll have my wife do it. I'm slightly retarded, but yes, I'll do it, and I'll stay on here. Again, I don't have a problem with, and believe me, I understand the different the views people have, but most of the views, if you break them down and you show them the numbers, they understand we're not against anything. We're we're trying to create more information so that people aren't misinformed. The worst thing you can do in this state is be misinformed and have a forum where you're misinformed because they prove you wrong, and then they don't believe anything you have to say. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not against anything. We're trying to, I guess, enlighten people on what's happening in this state. And you can go to Atlantic Marine Fisheries and see the whole breakdown of that. You can go to the BEWG, which is the dredging operation that goes on in Baltimore that shows what's going on at the Conowingo Dam with all the residue. I mean, you can go to any of those sites and break it down and say, hey, now I understand what exactly is going on. How can we fix this? Is what we're trying to. We don't want to work against anybody. We're saying how can we get three groups together to make the government work for us instead of the government work against any of us.
Right.
And that's where we're at right now. There's not one person on this forum, I don't care where you're from, that can say you can go out tomorrow or you can go out in July and catch 10 hardhead that are legal. Why? We used to be catching them 20 years ago. Where are the trout at that we had 20 years ago? Why do we have all these dolphin in the bay? None of these issues have ever been answered. And that's what we're trying to get to. What are the environmental changes that are happening, and why aren't you using those environmental changes to help out the recreational, to help out the charter, to help out the commercial? Why aren't you doing anything to address these issues? Where the other states are, the state of Maryland is doing nothing and laughing at you when you give them a check for $50, $100, $200, and that's what we're saying.
The has anybody we got 30 something. Oh, we got about 30 people in here. If you got any questions, let me man, I don't see. I have this one more thing. I'm trying to see if anybody's got any questions for you. I seen enough today where I still think there was some unity in there, and everybody. And I don't think if everybody don't get together, it's just going to be the same old, same old. And I think Robert was even talking about he's just about done. He's tired of talking to these government people, and especially like the governors and stuff. And you just they talk a good game. Especially I know Moore supposed he talked really good when he first came in, and then he was he hasn't really showed up. So I really hope he would show up for everybody. So is there another? Don't you guys say you got another meeting coming up? I know you got a lot of meetings coming up, but I know it said something that. But everybody, another meeting coming up.
We do have a bunch of meetings open up, and they are open to the public. If anybody wants those meeting dates, everybody in the public can attend any charter boat meeting, and the reason they can attend is we get charged this commercial with our fees, but we're evaluated, or our limits are based on recreational. So we open it up to everybody. Please come in. Please give us your opinion. You're not going to get it. There's not going to be a fight. There's not going to be a you're a dick, you're this, you're that. There's none of that. We're trying to come up with legitimate measures that would allow everybody to enjoy the fishery. What's happening now is the department and Atlantic Marine Fisheries is trying to pit all three of these groups against each other. So there's no unity. There's no vote that's going to go on, or no consolidation that's going to allow people to come together to say, hey, we've had enough. Enough is enough. And that's where we're at right now. So I will get my wife to figure out how to do all this stuff.
I just put your I just put on Facebook and in the chat on Facebook and on YouTube your email address. I gave
They
them
can
your
put my
email address.
email, phone number. They can call me at any time. I have given up the presidency of all the organizations, but I am right now I guess the lobbyist for charter boats. But I'm trying to figure out a way where we can all make it work. And there's agencies or there's organizations like CCA working against us. And you can believe or not believe. All you have to do is read the minutes. We're the only state where we've had one representative go against us, against the other two. We're the only state that has striped bass that is not conservation equivalency. We're the only state that doesn't do anything with pollution control on literal shit. It can go into bay and there's no recourse for any public citizen to say, hey, I'm tired of my kids swimming in turds and tampons. We're the only group on the whole East Coast that allows this stuff. And it's sad. It doesn't matter what regime's in, they all are getting money from one organization, and it's affecting all of us.
What organization is that?
It would be the letter C, and the letter A.
So what? So the CCA supposedly so up for fixing the Chesapeake Bay. Why aren't they doing anything to? So give me a good answer why these guys are not helping do the things that you're saying. If this is what works, why are they fighting so much against it? What is it that they want that that's not working? Because it seems it's just the only thing about the CCA. I keep hearing how they're trying to do everything for the Bay, and then you're sitting here and you're telling me that well they're not really. So how are they? So what is it specifically that they're doing that you need them to change?
It's money, and I'll give you this example. All the changes that happened this year. Say the charter boats go to one fish, we go to the 19 to 24-inch slot. We close down the trophy season. The actual savings for the Chesapeake Bay, Maryland portion, it comes from the 50,000 fish that the Maryland charter boats caught last year. So the entire savings for the whole bay is 50,000 fish out of 2 million. So you're telling me that your plan is to save 50,000 fish out of 2 million, and that's your plan? What does that save? Out of that 50,000 fish, none of them are pregnant females. So you're saving 50,000 male fish, and that's going to fix everything in the bay. That's just this year's plan.
They were, as I hear, they can't. What's that? All right. So what we're going to do is, if you guys, before we get ready to close out, if you want to give them your phone number, I can put your phone number in here, or you can call. If you want to, if you can tell me, and I'll put it in right now.
Is that me?
Yeah, your phone number. If you want to, if you're interested in giving it out.
Yeah, they can have it, and I'll give them all the data. I'll invite them to the State House next week if they want to go with me. It's 410-507-1117.
It's not letting me put numbers in there. Maybe it's not letting me. Hold on. Let me try it again.
And no matter
Try
no
to
matter
go.
what you're talking about, if you got three groups together, you're going to disagree on a small percentage of everything. But if you get three groups together and you sit down and talk, you can manage those three things to where everybody kind of agree. You help me out, I help you out, all that. However, the department is trying to divide everybody where we're all pitted against each other, and it's never going to work out in the long run. I can assure you of that. I've been through this for 30 years. This is the worst I've ever seen it. The people at DNR are completely incompetent, or they're afraid to stand up and say, you know what, these guys or that guy's right. We need to do something about it. And before long, all of us are going to be we're going to have a dirty bay that you wouldn't put your dog into, and you're not going to be allowed to take anything out of it. Crabs, fish, oysters, you're not going to be able to do anything. It's the worst I've ever seen it.
All right, can you give me that again? 410
410
mm-hmm.
507 1117.
See if I went in there. All right. You can text him, you can call him if you have anything that you think that hey, if you want to help and you want to go to some of these meetings, I'm sure they don't mind volunteers do whatever it is that whatever it is you need to do. But if you are done, if nobody else has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and we can end it out. And like I said, Ken, I appreciate it. I would never have gotten anywhere near this kind of message out for everybody. I would have just pretty much confused and screwed up the numbers. So that I really appreciate you coming on. Hey, if you want to do this again, if I see another meetings coming up that I can't make or anything, I'll send you an email. And if you want to come on and do this again, I am more than happy to bring you on. Anybody, any of your friends, anybody. I know there was a mic coming up here, but for some reason his mic and camera wasn't working. That's the only reason why he didn't come on. But if you want to have a couple guys come up, all you got, I can set it all up and we can come up and talk this. We've had a pretty good view tonight. We've had, and there was up to like 60 people in here at a point. We had averaging around 20 people in and out. So that's good views, and a lot of people sticking around to listen to what you're saying. Is there anything that you want to leave with? I don't know, any kind of other information, any other kind of information, any kind of really anything for anybody in here that's recreational. Because like I said, I'm recreational. I love the Bay, and I want to stick with the Bay, but it just seems like as much as we bitch about it, nothing gets done.
The only thing I'll leave with is I'm pretty open minded. I've done with this a long time. I understand everybody's philosophy and what they believe. We could work with anybody if they're educated in the actual numbers and how fisheries manages in Maryland. If you have any ideas or any opinions that you think would help, I have no problem taking you to any meeting, sitting down at a bar and eating a hamburger and deciding we could go forward with this. I'm game because we're at a peril right now. This is like in our industry, this is World War III. If we lose, we're done. If we win, we go back to things as normal. I don't think that's the right decision either. We need to come up with something in the middle that helps out all three user groups that can show that we can manage a fishery without the help of someone that is politically based, is all I'm saying. So anybody that wants to call me, they're more than welcome, and we'll figure it out from there.
All right, Ken's number is in the chat. Ken, thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time. I know it was a short thing, but thank you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope I was a good host. Like I said, it really was for you to give out more information than me as a knucklehead trying to talk. But I appreciate you coming on, Ken.
Anytime you need me, call me. See you.
You got it.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Sam,
Ken.
and thanks everyone for listening.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
Have a nice night.
That is Ken. Now, I am going to do some stuff real quick. All right, go back to the comments. I hope you guys like that podcast. I am working. Unfortunately, I want to go. I want to go down and do this at the Delaware Paddle Sports. The problem I'm having is that the guest that I really wanted to come on, she's so busy right now. It's not even funny. It's just she's so busy between her filming, videoing, doing tournaments. She just did a co-angler tournament, and that's Christine Fisher. She said sometime in June. I've been talking just a little while ago. I've been talking with Matt. Matt was just on the Beer and Bass podcast on Facebook. This guy's from Trick Tins. We're trying to work out something for him to come on. He is like not only running a business that's been around for years, but he just started. He does he fabricates, and I mean really good. I've been watching his videos for a long time, but he fabricates like aluminum boats. He will that I will if I can really come up with a hold on for a second. You know what I can do? I'll tell you what real quick. Some of the work that he's done. Hold on one thing. Let me pull up. Let me try to pull up a screen here. No, wrong. Let me pull up a screen. Hold on. Trick Tins. This guy does some absolutely amazing work on boats. Let's see, get some of his popular videos. Goes videos, popular. I mean, if you see what he's done with some of the boats he's done. So I'm asking him to come on, and he does such a great job. I mean, I'm talking from a bare boned John boat, and I'm talking everything that he's made from wiring, lights, graphs, troll motors, everything. This guy is good. I mean, this guy is really good. I enjoy watching him. I could not ever be that tedious on some stuff. I mean, that's how good he is. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But we're going to try to get him on. We're going to try to get him on, see if we can get a date for him to come on and talk about his business, his YouTube channel. What does he think about the YouTubing and everything? Let me see. We'll stop sharing. Can he's gone. But yeah. So sorry, like I said, 8 people in here. See, it was all about Ken. It wasn't about Sam tonight. But we're going to try and get some more guests on here, and I'm trying. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I got some YouTubers. I'm hoping to get maybe Tug Trash on here. He said he wouldn't mind coming on. I really have texted some pretty some pretty big one's a real big Maryland star. He has a pretty popular show on TV and stuff. He has his own podcast. So I don't know. I'm trying to get him in here. I'm trying to get a lot of guys. And when you're just starting out and you don't I'm just starting this podcast out, so it's kind of hard to get some guests on here, but I'm trying to do it the best I can. And I think I've been pretty good with the questions and everything. So I've been doing this for after getting off of these live streams, I can tell you, man, I'm freaking exhausted. I don't The other night I was on here. I mean, I was like, whew. I was like, I couldn't even. My friends were like, "Why are you so quiet?" I'm like, I'm freaking done talking. And anybody knows me personally knows that I can talk your freaking ears off. Oh yes, I can talk your ears off. She's come alive now. She's over there. But it is a Saturday night. What is everybody doing? The 10 people that are still here. What are you guys doing? Everybody put in. Just text. What are you guys doing tonight? You just sitting around listening to me on here? I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no Jason Momoa, right?
Heck yeah. Hi, River Boys.
15 people keep jumping in. I don't know. Um I'm trying to think what's everybody doing. I mean, our guest has left. I'm trying to get guests. You know, anybody wants a sponsor to pay for some of this equipment? My wife would love you very much.
Yes, I would.
Tomorrow I'm getting up early. I'm going to go to Pasadena, Kirch's Beach. You want to? There's my beautiful, wonderful wife. You want to sit down? Sit down. You can talk if you want. Or, oh, you're going to come on and talk with me?
No, not really.
All right. What?
Just gonna sit here.
You going to sit there next to me? I can turn your mic up. Your mic's already hooked up. You can put your earphones on if you want. You don't need to put the earphones on. Well, you can. You don't have to.
No, I won't. Mess my hair up.
All right. I'll turn it down. There's my wonderful wife coming on to hang out. It's a Saturday night. That's what we normally do on Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
We're just chilling out, drinking a couple beers.
Many.
I don't want to do too many. I got to get up early tomorrow.
I've already
Talking
had
to the
about
mic.
10. No, just kidding.
Microphone just for you, darling.
Thanks.
So what is everybody doing tonight? Nobody's going to answer the question. I mean, we got like 10 people in here.
Really? I don't even see
Oh,
it.
there's look. Ken's still here.
Hi, Ken.
Ken's still backstage.
I'll be there at Pasadena tomorrow. Stop by if you need anything answered.
Oh, you're gonna. Oh, yeah, nobody can hear you. Hold on 1 second. I can hear you now. Hold on 1 second, Ken. Here, I'll bring you back up. I was going to talk for a couple more minutes before I knew it. I was still talking. So you're going to be at the Pasadena show tomorrow too?
Yeah.
Oh, now his Wi-Fi just went out.
Oh, did it? I think he said yes, though.
His Wi-Fi just took a poop. And that's our Wi-Fi. Well, I'm going to be at the Pasadena. When he comes back up, I'll bring him back up. I'm going to be at the Pasadena show. I almost wasn't going to go because I like to go and interview people, interview some of the lure companies, the charter companies. I know Hogfin's going to be there. Brackets Life sometimes there. See what's coming out for the next year. And I'm a little ticked off because before Christmas, I sold my wireless mics because I wanted to update the Rode mics. And it was back order, all the way into February. I was like, screw this. I'm going to get some the DJI ones. And I don't see nobody's still commenting. The DJI, let me switch this back around. The DJI wireless, but they were supposed to be here almost 2 weeks ago, and they're on back order. So back order. So if we don't get them by 2, so I wanted to have my mic. So I think I got a setup that might work. I don't want the audio to kind of stink. Because usually, you want good audio if you're going to interview people, and that would be great. Hey, if everybody's on Facebook, if you go over to YouTube on Outdoors of Maryland, and you would please subscribe over there, would be awesome. I don't know how many people. We had like almost 70 people.
Really?
Actually, it was 80. It went in and out, and then it was like 80 people, and then went to 60. So it stuck around 40.
So it's probably 0 now.
About 40 people. No, we're about 9. We're just so right now we're just bullshit right now. So I'll see Ken tomorrow at the Pasadena show. There's going to be all kind of lure companies, High Octane, Taylor, Old School, Lowland Outfitters. They're going to be there. There's going to be a lot of guys there. I wonder if what's the girl's name that had the brittle?
Oh, I don't know, but I might have to have some of that.
Yeah, she sells some
cashew,
awesome brittle. The
cashew.
peanut, the peanut brittle. I wasn't ever into that,
either.
But that woman had some good ass brittle.
And it wasn't hard to chew.
No, it was good.
It was good.
She's either the wife or girlfriend or something from the guys that own Crabs to Go.
Okay, damn River Boys.
What's that?
Funny.
Sam, you were looking all right till that good-looking woman sat down beside you and me. Yeah, I was the good-looking guy on here, but you know, she's definitely
My man.
yeah,
37 years.
37, maybe 38 shortly. We're old. I was older. I'm older than Ken.
You're older than me.
Not by much.
Yeah.
Not by much. You're not that far behind me there.
Yeah.
What's up, Tom? We just had an
Tommy.
interview with Ken about the stripers and everything, and then now we're just kind of sitting around bullshit until I get tired of talking.
Is he going to be there tomorrow?
He was at the I think he was Tommy was at their
last year.
No. Tommy was there today. He was at the Pasadena show today, I think.
Oh, okay.
He won't be there tomorrow. I'm
Aw.
going to be there tomorrow. I don't know if the wife's coming or not.
No, probably not.
She's not coming tomorrow. I need Tommy. If you want to be a camera guy, would be awesome. I'm going to do the whole handheld thing, I guess.
Dan River Boy says, I'm staging you up.
All the time. I mean, how can you go wrong with that?
Really?
I'm married up. I've been a long time. Been a long time. I'm gonna knock a beer over.
Say we look
myself.
like brother and sister, so who knows?
You know, Tommy, I've been looking at a lot of new music, buddy, and I have not been. There's a couple bands I've been a little impressed with, but nothing's really. I got a punk band. You know what? Maybe I'll send her over to you. It's a girl. She's really
send her over.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying the video. She's really old school punk though.
Oh.
I mean, old school punk.
Who's that?
I forgot her name, but I got it saved though. I'll send it over to him.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know. I think we might. I might get ready to shut down. Is anybody? Anybody answer what they're doing tonight? Ty, what are you doing? You're probably sitting around down in the dungeon anyway. He's probably down in the dungeon drinking a couple of good. He's drinking good beer. I'm drinking a crappy beer tonight. It's the ones that I drink. I don't have nothing real good tonight.
Yeah.
Nothing high octane. I had some 10% the other day. Some milk stout stuff.
I think you still have a couple cans in there.
Cool. I'm down to check it out. Check. What are you going to check? What do you want? What did I say? Oh yeah. The girl. I mean, I'm talking like old school punk sound, you know. But it's girl really. It was actually really good. It stood out to me. It was really really good. I'll send it. When I get off of this, I'll send it over to you. I don't know if I might send it to you now. Why not?
Oh.
So what's everybody doing tonight? Because we're just kind of just goofing off now.
Yeah.
Now the live stream's over with. We're just Saturday night, just sitting around doing nothing. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up, Tommy. Me and Frank was on there for 3 hours the other day.
Last weekend.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. There's the newest.
Probably already left.
I guess did not save it. I guess I didn't save it. Holy poop.
Where do you see that people are still here?
Right there. I'll tell you there's 10 people watching me. Look at my phone real quick.
Okay.
There's 10 people watching me do my phone real quick. We had like, I'm just saying.
On air.
I said we had like 80 people in here. All of a sudden, I was looking. We had about
That's
18.
Because of Ken.
We had 18 to 20. I think Damn River Boys shared us out. And
yeah,
a bit chilly. Yeah, it was a bit chilly this morning at the show.
And windy.
The wife wasn't not even looking.
Nope. I don't like cold. I don't like
the one time her feet were so bad cold.
That was last year. Yeah. Bad.
Karen, you know what? This live stream will get.
Oh, well, you don't want to do that then.
Just
tell him.
No, hold on for a second. Just hold on 1 second. Let me turn off a setting real quick. I got to turn off a setting. I'll play a song for you real quick. Guys, if you want to hear some music.
Sam River Boy said, Sam, get a hold of Rich from Operation Vets.
For what? I shared you on a few Facebook groups. Yeah. My own Facebook page. And that's cool. No, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
You.
I had like freaking, there was like 80 people in here for a short time.
Wild. Yeah.
This machine that I bought,
Yeah, it's good.
this machine that I bought has Bluetooth on it.
Very expensive machine.
I think this is her. Let me play it real quick, Tommy, if you're still there. And tell me if you can hear it, if I don't get kicked off. That's old school.
Yeah,
That's old school punky right there.
I don't know. It's too kiddish to me.
No, that's like that. That's,
I never liked
that's
it
old
back
school
then.
punk.
I mean, the men I can deal with. The women singers back then, no.
No,
Except for Joan Jett.
no,
Joan Jett I can deal with.
no.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
Oh,
Your poker night, huh? Are you winning or losing?
who's that?
Tommy, my nephew's house for poker night.
Oh, cool.
The whiskey has been flowing
Oh,
heavy.
I don't know about that.
Oh, hell.
Oh, hell no.
If my friend Frank would go grab his son's computer, he can come up and talk if he's online.
Yeah. Is he?
All right, well, we'll be talking fishing. So next week at 1 o'clock, we'll be on again.
Oh.
Every Saturday, I'm going to... The only reason I didn't come on today at 1 o'clock is because I was actually at the meeting, the Striper meeting today. And it was close to my house. It was only about a half an hour away.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought... And Ken was... I'm just glad that he came on because I would never have given out the information. Yeah, and she's pretty too. She's not bad to look at. She's called Karen. What the hell was her name again? It was Karen Dio, something like that. Karen Dio. Black Smoke. I heard that song. That's kind of weird. I got some bands in here I've saved. But they have
I love that one.
Mr. Bumble. Is that the one? Mr. Bungle.
Bungle, not not Bumble.
That's the guy with Dino Jalusic in there.
Oh God, yes.
I'm actually being a coach to my niece. She is rolling them. That's cool. That's cool. So what's everybody else doing tonight? Because I mean, I would play music. This is just, I mean, I guess I won't put monetization on this. I don't want to play too much music because they'll shut us down.
Oh yeah.
Lock us.
I know.
But all right. So what I'll do is tomorrow, if anybody's listening, that's going to be at the Pasadena show tomorrow. Please come say hi to me if you're there. If not, we'll talk to some bait companies, charter captains, apparel companies. I'll try to do some interviews by myself because my better half, my camera lady, they can see you on camera, giving me that disgusting look.
No,
like
it's not that. I want to go, but it's just,
it's going to be cold and
Not only that, but we have 3 dogs and my mom,
3 dogs and your mom.
and it's harder than you think.
All right.
But I will come out next time. So.
All right. I'll let you know I'll be there. Like I said, I'm really just I've been doing that the last 2 years. I figure that'll be my thing every year that comes around to talk to anybody who's out there with new stuff. And maybe, like I said, anybody wants like I said, we're looking for sponsors. The wife will be greatly appreciated for the all the equipment that I bought for the live streams.
Yeah.
It's
I need a vacation.
It is Pasadena show is at the Kurtz's Beach. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's got 2 big.
It is nice.
It's like it's got. Is it 2 big giant tents or one? It's 1 or 2
I think
big
it's
tents
2.
and a whole big building. It's got food, drinks, but it's got.
Oh my God, drinks, wine, you name it. They
I
got
think it starts at like 8 o'clock in the morning till
It's
like
nice.
2 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
They have soups, hot soups. Oh.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice. They changed it. It used to be up. It used to be up on Ritchie Highway for the longest time, and they finally moved it down like 3 years ago. They moved it down to Curtis Beach. I mean, that's a nice. That's where my brother got married. That's where Herman and Tammy got married. Might want to. Yeah, Tammy. I said Tammy. Yeah.
It's all teas. All teas. Get it?
The pit turkey and ham was excellent today.
Oh, I love pit turkey.
I can bring some back here for you. I'll bring back the turkey for the wife tomorrow.
Turkey. Yes,
Yeah,
I love turkey. Ham, I'm not big on.
I don't really. I do need to hear. Make sure I got everything going. The
I test some wine too.
The
We got to get you up this way, Tommy. Come up here a little bit. You and your wife.
I went pickerel fishing. I went and did some fishing. I went out with Big Yacker fishing Wednesday. He wanted to go on a boat, so we went on a boat Wednesday. I knew it. It was like 50. You know, we had 60 degrees on Saturday, 50 degrees. It was nice and warm. And when Monday came, it started out warm, and we knew that cold front was coming in, and the cold front was coming in, and I was going to cancel because it was talking about going from 50 and Tuesday. What's it? Tuesday night.
Yep.
Tuesday night. It was like Tuesday night into Wednesday was going to be 20 degrees, and it was raining. And then, man, did it get windy! Holy crap, did it get windy!
Dan River Boys goes, "Where's the Pasadena show and what time?"
I already told him that.
Oh, did
it's
you?
at Curtis Beach.
Oh, okay. Well, I just found it on my thing.
Yeah, I got it right here. Look.
Okay. Well, I'm looking too.
It was it's at Curtis Beach. So we went there. We get out there, and I'm thinking it's not going to be a good day. Well, we get out there, and his like third cast, he gets a hit. Fourth cast, he grabs it and nails a bass. I'm like, all right, this is going to be good. And then the rest of the day, we didn't catch nothing. No, he did snag onto a crappie. We were pickerel fishing, and we had, man, I tried everything.
Me too.
And we even had live minnows. So we were casting, and he actually had a bobber of minnows in the back of the boat, you know, just hanging there. And we did not get a bite on live minnows. So I knew it was going to hurt us, but I didn't think it was going to hurt us that bad. But it definitely hurt our fishing. But this Wednesday, I think I'm going to go.
Where are you going now?
I'm going to go up and try fishing again. Definitely would like to hang out with you guys sometimes this year.
Yes. You and your wife bring her.
Yeah, bring her down. Or we'll go crabbing. We can go
No, I'm
crabbing
talking about hanging out, listening to music and all that.
and eat
too.
crabs.
Well, yeah, that's later on. But I mean,
I'm talking about, yeah, we'll wait till summertime. That way they
Okay.
can come out and hang out, and
we're not that boring, are we?
maybe they'll take one of the dogs with them.
No.
Take one of these effing puppies we got sitting over there. They're maniacs, man.
maniacs.
The one,
They're a year old and they're maniacs. They're
They're
awful.
yeah, they're maniacs.
Our
They're
beautiful
they're
Saint
not
Bernard's a good baby.
It's called the Pasadena
Fishing show?
fishing Pasadena. I don't know. I don't have it on me.
Where'd you say it was?
Tracy, we love the dog.
Who said that?
Not our music. Tracy would love the dogs.
No.
We got 180.
Oh, yeah, you can see 'em.
We got 180 pound Saint Bernard, and we have a
Yes, that's our baby.
180 pound Saint Bernard. She is
the best dog.
I mean, training wise, I mean, calm. When she does
That's
bark,
why
when
I
she
love
wants a
big
treat,
dogs
when
because
she
they're so good.
when she wants a treat, that dog will let you know she wants a treat.
Yep.
And then we got two chocolate labs.
Which are total.
They're okay.
Terrors.
They're fine. You know what I mean? They're fine.
They're needy, greedy,
Well, all the dogs are needy.
and greedy.
The Pasadena, Tommy, what is the
You
name
said
of that show?
curses.
The Pasadena what? Pasadena, why am I just,
Oh, so Tracy doesn't like our music, Tommy?
no.
Oh, what music does she
Is
like?
is she in the country or like country music?
Well, we can listen to some country, but I like old country, if anything.
Hold on.
We like animals better than most people. Yeah, same here. Pasadena Sport Fishing Group Show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sport fishing show.
Yep.
You don't know what the maniacs are until you get yourself some border collies. Yeah.
No.
Nah, I mean they're
I like big dogs, and I'm always gonna have a big dog.
ever since I lost, I'm not a person to let my dogs lay on my furniture or my bed. But when I lost my buddy last
Remy.
year, when I lost Remy last year, that one tore me up. And so I said, that's it. No more dogs. Once my big dog Daisy goes, I don't want no more dogs. No more dogs. I'm done with dogs. No more dogs.
Yeah, right.
And then 5 months later, all I kept looking at is chocolate lab puppies all over the place. And me being so smart that I am, so the girl that had the dogs, we told her we wanted a dog, and she does have a little bit of a health issue, and
Yeah. But
so
that'll
what?
be straightened out soon.
One of the couples backed out on Star, so we were getting Summer, backed out on Star, and she asked if we wanted to switch because since she had a medical issue, and we're like, no, we're not gonna. That's the dog we picked. We want her. It doesn't matter, right?
Right.
So then Sam goes, well, if you give us a deal, we'll take both.
And she said, okay.
So now we got
So-
two. So we got two for the price of we
Yeah.
the price of
Yeah.
yeah. Daisy, our Saint Bernard is, geez.
She's the best dog we've ever had, actually. If you
I mean,
think about
training wise,
And
calm wise, just calm, listens.
and lets
been on the
anybody
boat.
walk on her. I mean, kids,
Good.
dogs, everything.
I mean, her breath has something. You can say something about that breath of hers, but other than
That's
that,
why I would always recommend a Saint to somebody that wants a dog that's going to be calm and cool and just is very laid back.
all right, buddy. I'll see you, Tommy.
Hi, Tom.
All right, I'll call you in the morning. I don't know what time I'm going to leave. Depends on what time I go to bed tonight. I'm not going to stay up real late. And I mean, I've been on here for 2 hours. It's freaking 8 o'clock already.
So,
Go to bed. I'm going to get up early.
you're not going to bed early.
No, I'm not going to go to bed early, but I'm going to get up early. I want to get there early. Usually we're not getting there until, I like to get there as early as I possibly can. And then go interview some people. Yeah, we're just going to drink beer. We're chilling. This is what we usually do on Saturday nights.
We listen to music and drink
chilling
beer.
out. Yeah, drink some beer,
That's what we do.
chill out, get our beach bodies ready for all the
Or
beer
the
we're
crime
drinking.
stories. Either way.
But other than that, I mean, we get like 12, 13 people in here. Who else is in here? You guys just sitting back and listening? I mean, I would play music, but I'm scared we get I'm scared.
Copyrighted, but are you really?
scared we
It's just a
get copyrighted.
podcast, so.
Yeah, but it's on my Outdoors of Maryland thing.
Well, it's also on
And
Facebook.
And as you can see, it says listen to metal because I am a metalhead.
Yes.
Well, we can't really go. I mean, we'd like to go visit our friends more often on that side of the bridge.
But right now, it's
We can't. We gotta make sure we stick around with her mom. Her mom, we can't really go too far from the house. So, we got the cameras are all over the place. So we can keep an eye on her and stuff. So we get to go out for a little bit, but we can't go out for much. So we can't be going on the
Can't
other side
be
of the
spending
bridge.
the night anywhere, so we just
Yeah. I did.
What?
Whom God's destroy. I've listened to. Man, we're gonna get copyrighted.
So what? Doesn't matter.
But this is heavy. I don't know if anybody's in the mood for that heavy music.
What's heavy?
Oh, the one that got the Dino Jalusic
Oh,
on
that's
there.
not heavy.
I'm trying to think of something that I think I still got the Bluetooth on. Let's see if we can play it.
Yeah, do something.
We'll play something. This one was
That
pretty
was
good,
good.
but this
Black
was
Smoke. It was pretty good. Awesome.
yeah, Black Smoke Trigger.
What about that one guy on with the docking people?
We got
That's so
yeah,
awesome.
George Lynch, basically docking,
Yeah, I love it.
and
And his voice is phenomenal.
the
Oh,
guy Garish, he was he's from India or something.
Yeah,
I think
India.
India.
Yeah. He can sing anything.
He's good rock singer.
He's awesome. And then Dino Jelisic, there's no words for
Jalusic,
that.
not Jelisic.
Jalusic, I'm sorry.
Jalusic.
There's no words for that one.
Say it right.
He can do it right.
There's Headbangers. See if it's on here.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we're probably ready to go.
Whatever. I mean, how many
All right.
people we got?
9 people.
Okay, well, we're good. As long as we got people. Anybody want to ask any questions?
Yeah. Any questions? Want to answer any questions?
See that?
All right. So,
We're just a funny couple, so.
yeah, I just keep asking. I've got about 10 people watching. What are you doing? What are you guys doing?
What's up?
Because I mean, we're really just chilling out Saturday night.
Yeah.
So we'll either be sitting here bullshitting on here, or we'll be
bullshitting over there.
we'll be sitting over there watching TV because our night's just about done. So we'll probably watch a movie or something. But
yeah, he doesn't like movies. I do.
Yeah.
We watch music videos and whichever. So
It's funny. I wonder what people watch on YouTube. They're watching me tonight. That's kind of cool, and I appreciate people hanging out.
what did
What's
we
the
watch
f-
last
what's the
night? Though?
funny
I
thing?
watched Super Bowl commercials.
That's crazy.
I know. Well, the only one I like was Jason Momoa. Oh, that's
No,
beside the point.
why?
I don't know.
Why do you like him?
He's my man crush.
Your man crush?
Yeah.
You think so?
Whatever. And then I was listening to music, you know. So, oh, I love her hair.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't. If it was long,
I
yeah.
think Hog Finn's going to be there tomorrow. I'm gonna buy a shirt from them.
No, you're not.
Why?
Because I don't want you to. I want something.
I'll get you something.
No, you get enough.
They
I want
got
more.
nice shirts. I mean, they got nice shirts. We're gonna be at the Pasadena Mars show. I think I'm gonna go and somebody just sent a message to me.
Oh yeah. Who's that?
I'll
Any
look at that stuff.
questions, guys?
I'll look at that stuff after I get off there, Jimmy.
Any questions, you name it, we'll answer it to our best of knowledge.
Like what?
Even music. I mean,
Crabbing?
crabbing music. I'm
Ready for
very
crabbing?
good
I'm
with
ready
the
for
music
crabbing.
part. So I'm I'm
I
phenomenal.
just
with
I
crabbing.
won't lie to you. I just sometimes when I'm out crabbing, I think this year I don't think was that bad. I don't think it was like extremely hot like it was last year.
No, it wasn't really hot, but we just weren't.
The crabbing wasn't
The
not great.
crabbing was not great at all.
There was all these crabs in the bay, but
Ugh,
there wasn't many.
They always say so when they say there's hardly any. Oh my God, it's going to be great.
Yeah, the crab survey.
that's how it
Hopefully, the
is.
crab survey says there's no crabs there. That's when we
Yes.
usually do really good.
So what's he saying now?
He says better than.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh, okay. I know he said something. Uh-oh, what's up?
That's you.
Oh.
He said good night. May see you tomorrow. I'll text
That
him.
was ages ago. Okay.
Like I said, we're bullshitting. I can
Yeah, we're there.
play music.
Oh, okay.
Anybody will hear. Anybody. thinks
So,
they-
anybody have a suggestion of music or what they'd like to hear, or a question for me and Sam?
Me and Sam.
Me and Sam.
Sam.
And we also like to do hot challenges.
No, we're not doing it.
Yes, we
Shut
did.
up.
That was my next.
No, you weren't.
Yes,
you're,
I was.
You're full.
I was. I swear.
You're full
I
of
swear.
it.
No. I'm not.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm gonna
Except now they went up again.
What's that? YouTube. 7. See, it's like people just. It's like I do that a lot. I'll sit there and start watching a live stream,
Yeah.
and then I have to go in and out because I'm doing something, or I'm just driving and I just chill out and listen, and people like popping it out.
So what's up, peeps?
So, Back River Treatment Plant poisoning the whole system.
Yeah.
New plant, no one knows how to operate. Paying. Well, yeah, that dude.
It's always going to be like
Thomas,
that.
I'm telling you that we've been between the Conowingo Dam and there's other places too. It's like the pollution in the bay. They won't fix it. They're not going to fix it because if they fix it, then they don't get their money. It's all about the money, buddy. If they fix it, they don't get their money. That's the way it works. It's funny how a long time ago I was in a government building. I won't say what government building I was in, and I used to do office furniture. I used to put together office furniture in these big government buildings, and you want to talk about waste? That's right there can tell you how government wastes money. We would go in and we would have a trailer full of brand new furniture of office furniture, cubicle furniture, the cubicle furniture in there. And I swear we would have to take out furniture to put in the new stuff. And the stuff we were taking out looked almost as new as that's the stuff we were putting in. And, it's amazing. And then I'm sitting here. I remember sitting under a desk, putting on, because when you got them desks in the corner,
Yeah.
they have keyboards.
No, I know.
They slide out. So I'm hanging these keyboards, and the guy goes, he says, "Well, how much money do you need?" He said 1.6. He is like 1.6. Well, I tell you what, let's just make it 2 million. Boom, just like that.
Nice.
Just like that. Just spend $2 million, You know, they just talk, well, hey, if you only need 1.6, but how about I just give you $2 million? It was, you know, it was something to
All
the
that money.
point of that.
Yeah.
So the government is, if you don't spend it, man, you're not going to get it.
Nope.
And if you listen to Ken's telling you that the Maryland they do not back us fishermen, back us commercially, recreationally, and everything. They don't do it. I listened to this meeting today, and I mean, this is a big money. This is money for for the state.
Right.
But you know how it is. All right, everybody. I've been on here for about 2.5 hours. I've been really just talking and bullshitting. All right, so I will. Thanks for everybody stopping by, and I think we're going to end it. And next week at 1:00, I will be back with another episode. We'll see who the guest is. I'll announce it sometime this week. If I don't have a guest, don't matter. I'll just start talking.
And I'll be here then.
Yeah, she'll be here. All right. See ya.
Bye.